As the world rapidly evolves, the transition from high school to life beyond the classroom has become more complex, more competitive, and more critical than ever before. Today's graduates are not just stepping into university lecture halls or job interviews, they're entering a future defined by uncertainty, innovation, and global interconnectivity. This video dives deep into the essential question facing education systems worldwide. How can schools, policymakers, and leaders prepare students not just to pass exams but to thrive in life? We explore a comprehensive strategic framework that empowers every graduate with the core competencies, skills, and experiences needed for success in career, college, and citizenship. From integrating financial literacy and emotional intelligence into the curriculum to designing career guidance programs and real world projects. This journey starts with reimagining high school as the launchpad for a purposeful, adaptable, and resilient future. Join us as we unpack the powerful practices and policies that can transform senior year into a year of international preparation and personal growth. Let's discover together how curriculum leaders can embed future ready learning across all subjects, how principals can lead a school culture rooted in career development and life planning, and how national policy can support equity, access, and meaningful transition pathways. Featuring proven strategies like internships, digital portfolios, mentorships, and alumni engagement, this video serves as a call to action for educators and decision makers to align school systems with the real world demands of the 21st century. It's time to move beyond traditional models and embrace a new vision of readiness, one that ensures every student graduates not only with a diploma but with direction, confidence, and the skills to shape their future. Few days ago, we all celebrated the World Youth Skills Day, where we were calling for a paradigm shift in the educational system to ensure that students are ready for a future that we have yet to define its boundaries. Just as a quick reminder, we're going to look now at the main or the top 10 essential skills that can help students excel in university life. Starting with time management. It's our responsibility as school leaders, as policymakers, to ensure that students are prepared for university once they newly graduate from the high school. So all know that university life involves juggling lectures, assignments, exams, extracurriculars, and social events. So, mastering how to prioritize and allocate time effectively is critical for success and well being. The second skill, which is critical thinking, we need to make sure that our high school graduates are able to analyze, evaluate, and synthesize information as a core skill for academic success. Critical thinking supports better decision making, problem solving, and engaging with complex topics across disciplines. The third skill, which is self motivation and discipline. Unlike high school, university places more responsibility on students to manage their learning. Being proactive and staying committed without constant supervision helps students to thrive. The fourth skill, which is effective communication, clear verbal and written communication is essential for participating in decisions, writing papers, delivering presentations, and collaborating in group work. Fifth skill, which is digital literacy. Proficiency in using digital tools like learning management systems, word processors, research databases, and AI tools is essential as much of university learning is hybrid or tech supported. Sixth skill, which is adaptability and resilience. We all know that university life often brings unexpected challenges, academic pressure, personal changes, or a new environment. So we need our high school graduates to be able to adapt and bounce back from setbacks for long term success. The seventh skill, research and information literacy. We want our high school graduates to learn how to find, evaluate, and cite academic sources properly. So, research skills will help them to produce high quality assignments and avoid plagiarism. The eighth skill, which is collaboration and teamwork. Many university projects require working with peers, building entrepreneur skills, representing diverse opinions, and contributing meaningfully to teams are highly valued. The ninth skill, which is financial literacy. We need our high school graduates to know how to manage a personal budget, understanding student loans, and making smart financial choices to help them avoid unnecessary stress and stay focused on their studies. Last but not least, we need to make sure that we have equipped them and enhanced their self care and wellness. They need to know how to maintain physical and mental well being through proper sleep, nutrition, exercise, and emotional support to allow them to sustain energy, focus, and remain positive during their studies. So these skills not only prepare students for academic success, but also help them navigate the independence, complexity, and opportunities of university life confidence. So the question here, when you are celebrating the end of grade 12 with your high school graduates as school leaders, as teachers, have you checked that each one of your high school students is well equipped with those essential skills? What have you done throughout the academic year to make sure that your students are ready for life after school? Moving now to talk about the transition from high school to university, we are going to highlight now on the main challenges that graduating high school students often struggle with during the transition to university. And why does that happen? Mainly, we know that there is a significant shift in environment, expectations, and personal responsibility. So, graduating high school students, they suffer in the transition from high school to university due to the following 10 challenges. Starting with the main challenge, number one, is the sudden independence and lack of structure. High school typically offers structured schedules, close teacher supervision, and parental support. University, on the other hand, demands self discipline, time management, and independent decision making. Many students are unprepared for the freedom and they struggle to manage their academic and personal lives without daily guidance. The second challenge, which is the increased academic demands. University coursework is often more rigorous, fast paced, and requires deeper critical thinking and analytical skills. Students who excelled in high school with minimal effort may find themselves overwhelmed when faced with dense reading materials, long essays, research projects, and abstract exams. The third challenge, which is the poor time and stress management skills. Many students enter university without strong habits in organization, prioritization, or stress management. They may pro- try to underestimate the workload or overcommit socially, leading to burnout or underperformance. The fourth challenge, which is the underdeveloped study skills. High school assessments are often more guided, whereas university learning expects students to take initiative, engage in independent research, and study without being told what to do. Students who rely on memorization or last minute cramming often struggle to meet university level expectations. The fifth challenge, which is the social and emotional adjustment. Moving to a new city, living away from family, or feeling disconnected in large lecture halls can lead to homesickness, loneliness, or anxiety. Making new friends, navigating diverse social dynamics, or adjusting to different culture norms can be emotionally taxing. The sixth challenge, which is the unrealistic expectations. We all know that some students arrive at university with misconceptions about what higher education entails, expecting it to be an extension of high school or not fully understanding the level of personal accountability required. This kind of mismatch in expectations can lead to disappointment or disengagement. The seventh challenge, which is the lack of support networks. Students may not know how or when to seek help from academic advisors, counselors, tutors, or peer mentors. A lack of access to or reluctance to use support services can cause issues to spiral instead of being resolved earlier. The eighth challenge, which is the financial pressure. For many universities, is the first time managing a budget, dealing with tuition, or working part-time jobs. So financial stress can interfere with academic performance and mental health. The ninth challenge, which is the cultural and identity challenges. Students from underrepresented or minority backgrounds might face discrimination, culture shock, or identity related stress, especially in unfamiliar or less inclusive university environments. The 10th challenge, which is difficulty finding purpose or direction. Some students enter university without a clear sense of their goals, passions, or major. The pressure to figure it all while balancing academic performance can lead to confusion or loss of motivation. So, in summary, the transition from high school to university is more than just academic, it's a life shift that affects identity, autonomy, and well being. The success in this transition requires preparation in life skills, emotional resilience, and access to supportive environments. So the question now goes to the school leaders, policymakers, and teachers, asking the main and most important question, which is about the main practices and strategies that are in place to ensure that graduating high school students are equipped with life and career readiness skills. What are the schools putting in place? What are they implementing intentionally in order to make sure that students are ready for this kind of transition? There are so many practices and strategies that can be blended with the academic preparations in order to help students out during their last year. These strategies should blend academic preparation with real world skills, personal development, and career exposure. Let's shed the light now on the main school mandated practices that can have a powerful impact on making this transition as smooth as possible for the graduating high school students. Starting with the life and career readiness curriculum integration. As school leaders, curriculum developers, and policymakers, we need to make sure that we embed dedicated modules or courses in the curriculum focusing on time and self management, financial literacy, which is focused on budgeting, saving, managing debt, communication skills like email etiquette, presentations, interviews, digital literacy and responsible online behavior, and emotional intelligence and mental wellness. Those five courses could be the end of the last year, semester, or month given to high school students to prepare them for university and to make sure that we have this final cross check about their readiness through having those dedicated modules and courses. The second practice, which is mandatory career exploration and counseling programs. It is not enough that we help our high school graduates to fill the university application and to talk to them about the requirements of equivalencies and acceptance. This is ticking boxes, this is paperwork, but what about the established structured programs that include career aptitude tests, interest surveys, one on one career guidance, academic planning sessions, having industry panels, alumni sharing sessions, having guest speakers, visits to the workplaces, exposure to various career paths, talking about the vocational, the technical, and the entrepreneurial options that students have. Those are very essential, very much needed because the graduating high school students they need to be part of the real workforce and to know exactly what their majors are going to lead to as a career life in the future. The third practice, which is projects and portfolios, we need to make sure that our high school graduates they know how to complete a culminating project that showcases their learning, creativity, and problem solving abilities. This can include a research project or social impact initiative. This can include a digital portfolio with reflections, writing samples, and evidence of achievement, or it could be a career focused presentation given in public to a group of audience which does not only include their classmates but the wider community of the school or from outside people. The fourth practice, which is work based learning opportunities, schools should facilitate practical real world experiences such as community service with clear learning outcomes, helping our students to have a experience with a simulated work environment where they have a role play scenarios or school based enterprises can help them to understand the industry requirements rather than hearing about it. They can experience that and know the real world challenges that they will face in their future. The fifth one, which is public speaking and presentation skills. We need to mandate activities that build confidence in presenting and communicating ideas, such as having all high school graduating students take part in debates, organizing TED style talks or exhibitions, not only inside the school, but in the wider community. So by then, they can have the real life interaction with people whom they are seeing for the first time in their life. Having student led conferences or showcases where not only the top students are participating or a selected group, but everybody is taking part of it. Last but not least, arranging for mock interviews where students are asked to speak about themselves, to define themselves, talking about their education, their interests, their skills, courses that they have completed. So by then they have a rich profile when they are moving to universities. The sixth practice, which is talking about university and scholarship readiness support. We need to ensure that students they receive guidance on college applications, personal statements, scholarship essays, workshops on admission requirement, access to reference writing, and document preparation, specifically when they need to create their own portfolio, their LinkedIn account, their social media kind of platforms that will define their identity, define their line of production, and their passion in the career that they are trying to persuade. The seventh practice is the digital portfolio and resume development. By the end of the final year, each student should have a professional resume and cover letter template created with a clear supervision and guidance by the school in order for them to build confidence and to know how their portfolios are going to be developed starting from the end of the high school year moving forward to university, helping our students to create a portfolio where they put together their certificates, their awards, their project work, the extracurricular records that they have, so by then they can showcase their talents and they can carry that pride with them to university from high school. The eighth strategy, which is having mentorship and alumni engagement. When we create mentorship pairings between students and teachers or school leaders with shared interests or alumni who can offer real world insights, guidance, and networking, we are supporting our students to know how to handle the situations that we know for sure they're going to experience during their first semester, first year university. Last but not least, talking about the personal development and wellness programs. We need to offer mandatory sessions and experiences related to goal setting and vision building, coping with stress and managing mental health, building resilience, self reflection, and confidence. And those cannot be taught through lectures, those have to be embedded in the school and the system in order to make sure that our final high school year the schools can bridge the gap between classroom learning and the real world. So we need to empower our students to step into university or the workforce with confidence, competency, and clarity of purpose. Let's now move to talk about the curriculum. What about the curriculum mapping design? When approaching curriculum mapping with the goal of ensuring career and life readiness for graduating high school students, curriculum leaders must take a strategic, integrated, and future focused approach. Their role should involve aligning the curriculum with the essential skills, competencies, and experiences that prepare students for both higher education and the workforce. So, what are the things that curriculum leaders should look at? First of all, they need to define clear life and career readiness outcomes. They need to start by identifying the core competencies that graduating students must achieve. These typically include the skills that we spoke about earlier, which are critical thinking, problem solving, communication and collaboration, digital and information literacy, self management and resilience, financial literacy, and civic responsibility. Last but not least, career exploration and planning skills. The second thing, which is embedding readiness skills across all subjects. So rather than isolating readiness skills in one subject like a life skills course, the curriculum leaders should ensure that all those skills are integrated across the curriculum. So if I'm looking at the English language arts discipline, in that course, we need to have dedicated sessions to support our students to know how to write resume, how to speak in public, and how to communicate clearly their thoughts in written and verbally. In the math class, we need to make sure that financial planning, budgeting, and data interpretation is embedded. In science, we need to talk about the ethical reasoning, research skills, environmental awareness. Social studies should focus on global citizenship, leadership, and civic participation. ICT should focus on digital portfolios, coding, and online professionalism. So each subject can contribute meaningfully to career and life skill development through project based learning, interdisciplinary units, or real world application. Third point, which is the mapping of the vertical and horizontal progression. Curriculum leaders should ensure that vertical alignment and horizontal alignment is in place. So you ensure the vertical alignment by scaffolding readiness skills from early secondary to grade 12 and vertical alignment so all grade 12 courses reinforce those skills. So for example, in grade 10, we can have some topics touching base on intro to work habits, early career exploration. Grade 12, they can focus on applied problem solving, internship preparation. Grade 12, we can talk about projects and profiles, university career transition, professional presentation, or even writing a professional research study with references to know how they can avoid plagiarism and how they can complete the research papers that will be required shortly in universities. Curriculum leaders should review pacing guides, scopes, and sequences documents to guarantee that readiness builds over time and cumulates effectively. The fourth point, which is on incorporate authentic assessments. Redesigning assessments to evaluate real world skills is essential, not just looking at content mastery. Curriculum leaders should ensure that assessments include performance tasks like mock interviews, collaborative projects, require reflection and metacognition, use rubrics aligned to 21st century competencies, and include external feedback from mentors, from internship supervisors. So by then, we are preparing students to the type of assessments they will see in universities that goes beyond paper and pen. The fifth point, which is collaborate with external stakeholders. Curriculum leaders should invite input from industry professionals, from alumni and parents, from university admissions officers. This ensures the curriculum is relevant and responsive to evolving realities. The sixth one, which is supporting teacher training and collaboration. Curriculum leaders must provide professional development on integrating career readiness into subject instruction. They need to provide opportunities for interdisciplinary planning, and they should prepare platforms for teachers to co create projects, share resources, and assess soft skills consistently. The seventh point, which is embedding capstone experiences and portfolios. We need to ensure that the curriculum includes a capstone or graduating project that requires students to apply knowledge to real world problem, document their process and learning journey, present to an authentic audience, build a digital or physical portfolio to showcase skills, achievements, and reflection. Some schools they do require graduation project, but when the graduation project is not presented to an authentic audience, the graduating student will not see value in the efforts that they have put all together. They need to stand in front of a crowd, speak about it, be ready to answer questions about it. So by then they know that when work is required from them, they will be asked about it and they have to present it with pride rather than just compile information, submit through an online platform, and we're ticking a box. The eighth point, which is audit and review the curriculum regularly. We need to use data that are derived from latest trends in education, student feedback, graduate tracking, assessment results in order to identify gaps in skill development, in order to adjust content and sequences, in order to introduce the new trends like AI readiness, entrepreneurship, or sustainability literacy. Conducting curriculum audits is very important to ensure that all readiness skills are addressed explicitly as well as intentionally. Creating pathways and electives. When we design our electives or learning paths, we have to keep in mind that we're doing that to support different post secondary directions. And this can only happen when we take a very close look at university preparatory courses, career and technical education tracks, entrepreneurship or innovation labs, and life skill programs. We need to allow our students to personalize their learning not only based on interest and career goals, but also on real life realities, on the jobs that are going to evolve in the coming 10 years and jobs that will disappear in the coming 10 years. So, making sure that our curriculum is audited regularly and our pathways and electives are being updated with a provision in mind focused on what is happening in the real world will always allow us to personalize students' learning and to help them for their future education. Last but not least, which is talking about the integration between counseling and career guidance and having that embedded into the curriculum. Curriculum leaders should ensure that collaboration between the academic curriculum and student support services is at its best in order to align learning with students' individual academic and career plans. So we put goal settings, personality assessment, and post secondary planning as part of the advisory periods. So the work of career guidance of counselors is not limited only to compliance with the requirements for graduation and compliance to the requirements of admission in university. It expands beyond that, looking at all the different portfolios of individual students to support. So, in summary, when we talk about curriculum leaders, We talk about the vital role in embedding life and career readiness into the very fabric of the high school experience. So, through thoughtful mapping, integration, and collaboration, curriculum leaders can ensure that every graduate leaves not just with academic knowledge, but with the confidence, competencies, and clarity to succeed beyond school. As we conclude this exploration of what it truly means to prepare high school students for life after graduation, one thing is clear. Readiness is no longer just about academic achievement, it's about holistic development. So, the strategies we've covered demonstrate that empowering students for future requires a unified effort from policymakers, school leaders, curriculum designers, teachers, families, and community partners. From embedding real world skills across the curriculum and facilitating authentic career exploration to nurturing emotional resilience and financial literacy, the high school experience must evolve into a launchpad for independence, lifelong learning, and active citizenship. When schools prioritize career and life readiness, students graduate not just as learners but as thinkers, creators, collaborators, and problem solvers ready to thrive in a world of change. The journey towards future readiness begins with intention and leadership. It demands that we reimagine the role of education not as a pathway to a single destination, but as a foundation for many. Whether a student's next step is university, vocational training, or joining the workforce, they deserve a system that equips them with clarity, confidence, and capability. Let this video serve as both a blueprint and a rally cry. Now is the time to shift from outdated models of schooling to dynamic student centered ecosystems of growth. Together, we can ensure that when our students cross the graduation stage, they are not only celebrating the end of one chapter, but stepping boldly into a future they are fully prepared to shape.